Welcome back to this series of conversations at the Dark Reading News Desk at RSA. Terry Sweeney here with Dark Reading, and joining me now is Ravid Circus, co-founder and chief product officer with Seemplicity. Ravid, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
We are talking about reducing risk at scale and automation. Even with the best security people deploying the best scanners, it's a struggle to move the remediation needle even a little bit. Why, after so much investment, so much technology, why is this still such a challenge?
So I think the answer is very simple. The security team has the responsibility to find security problems, but they don't have the authority to fix those. Oh. The people that actually should fix those are, developers, IT, engineering, and they're working on different tools than the security teams. And the fact that you have all the data doesn't mean that you can act on it. And the biggest gap is not identifying the problems, is actually get those to the people that can actually fix those. And I think that's what prevents scaling at the end of the day. A lot of manual work, a lot of fragmented work, which prevent the security teams from scaling, from getting all the value from those tools that they have already deployed.
So responsibility without authority, it's a classic business problem. Sounds like InfoSec professionals are up against that regularly with the dynamic we're describing here.
Exactly, because they are responsible to find the problems, but they cannot fix those. And that's why they kind of need to drive remediation without the ability to actually remediate things.
Okay, so with that in mind, how can we scale up the process of risk reduction and remediation?
I think the best way is to try and connect those findings, connect those security problems to the people that can actually fix them as fast and as smooth as possible, and not just create another report that's sitting on the security team desk, but rather getting those findings to the people that can actually act upon, okay, in their operational systems, in their working environment, so security will be part of their ongoing process rather than a point-in-time escalation of we have to fix these kind of things. So it is a lot of handling the logistics part of taking the findings from the original tool all the way to the people that act upon them.
I don't mean to harp on this, but are the customers or the organizations that you talk to on a regular basis, are they aware of this disconnect, this dynamic that keeps them insecure?
They are very aware, and they are highly frustrated with that.
I imagine.
Because you can find security professionals doing administrative or project management tasks. And with all the constraints that we have about professional workforce in the cybersecurity market, then you actually need to have them put their expertise in having better security programs rather than copy and pasting things from one system to the other one.
Can time to remediation be accelerated without adding more resources?
Actually, yes. And when we did some research with our customers, we have found out that when you look on the total time to remediate from the second the problem finding was identified all the way to when it was remediated, between organizations, the time to actually fix the problem is kind of constant. What is very different between organizations is the time to get that finding to the person that can actually fix that. And we saw some tremendous numbers, like 60 days to get the findings to the person that can fix that, and then 5 days to actually fix that. Okay? So if you look on how we can do more, is to actually reduce the dwell time. Reduce the time that it actually takes you to get those findings to the right person in his right working environment. And that's something that with current technology can be easily automated.
Okay. Automated security platforms obviously hold lots of promise and potential. How easily are they integrated into the existing security infrastructure?
So I think the last few years actually have a good promise around that. Most of the more modern security tools have already API enabled. It's kind of become standard de facto even for very new tools. So it's much easier to integrate than before, and with delivery models like software as a service and things like that, it's actually take away the operational overhead of deploying such a tool. So at the end of the day, if you come to solve an operational problem, you don't want to create additional operational overhead. So the newer technologies that most of the security tools have adopted, together with the SaaS delivery model, actually create a place where such a platform can live, can be easy to maintain, can be a no-code platform that actually requires very little maintenance.
Okay. What advice do you have for security professionals, things that they can start, stop, or continue doing to drive down their risk?
Being a security practitioner for more than 20 years, one of the things that always astonished me is how much the security team trying to do the work of their counterparts. They're trying to over-prioritize it. They're trying to over-understand, what will be the impact of such a thing for production systems, where they are not the ones that have the knowledge to do that. Actually, what they need to do is to actually think of fix more and prioritizing less. And by getting the findings in a consistent way to the people that can actually fix those, they can give their thoughtful information about whether this should be fixed, how it can be fixed, how risky is the fix, and not leave it to the security team hands to kind of reverse engineering what will the developer needs to do in order to fix that. So stop protecting your developers. They are real professionals, okay? Get them the information, get it to them in the way that they can consume that, and they will tell you, whether it's something that they can do, they cannot do, and to find a way together to actually resolve that.
Ravid, take us out by telling us something that you've seen or heard here at RSA that surprised or educated you.
So I think that I'm not going to be very innovative here. I think that being in person after a couple of years that the industry didn't meet, it was very nice to see a lot of the tools and a lot of the security practices actually moving to the next level. So we are not looking anymore on point solutions, but rather on consolidation of different tools and different technologies that actually come to solve a bigger problem rather than another point problem on a specific attack vector. And I think that it's very nice to go down the floor at the show and see how those companies are building something stronger, and how we as an industry working much better than before to actually make our technology world more secure.
It's a different conversation than 2019, isn't it?
It's a whole different conversation. I think that the security team from being a security industry, from being a closed industry that works in closed rooms because everything is hush hush and secret, has to move to be an organization which is working from home, worldwide and interconnected, and that make a lot of changes to how we think about resolving our organization's problems.
Ravid, lots of great insights on risk reduction and automated risk management. Thanks for joining us today for Dark Reading News Desk.
Thank you for having me.
We've been talking with Ravid Circus of Seemplicity. This has been Terry Sweeney for the Dark Reading News Desk. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.